Here's a single table trying to do everything at once. Each row records one enrollment, a student's ID and name, a course's ID and title, and who teaches it. Perfectly readable, and quietly, a disaster waiting to happen. Look what repeats. The course databases taught by Professor Rao is written out in full on row 1 and again on row 3. The very same fact stored twice. Where does the redundancy come from? From the dependencies. A student's name is fixed by their ID. A course's title and instructor are fixed by the course ID. But it takes both a student and a course to name one row. Redundancy breeds three classic anomalies. First, the update anomaly. Suppose databases changes hands to a new instructor. That fact lives in two places, rows 1 and 3. Change just one, and the table now flatly contradicts itself. Second, the insertion anomaly. A brand new course, Networks under Professor Iyer, is ready to offer, but nobody's enrolled yet. To add its row, we'd need a student ID, and that's part of the key, so it can't be empty. The course simply can't be recorded. And third, the deletion anomaly, the sneakiest. Row 2 is the only place operating systems appears. If Ravi drops that course and we delete the row, we don't just lose his enrollment. We erase every trace the course ever existed, its title and instructor along with it. Three failures, one shared root cause. We bundled independent facts into a single table. Normalization is the discipline of unbundling them, so each fact lives in exactly one place. Here's the cure. Take the wide table and split it along its dependencies into smaller ones, each about a single thing. The student's facts go into a student table, keyed by student ID. The course's facts go into a course table, keyed by course ID. And who took what shrinks to a lean enrolled table, just the two IDs that link them. Now every fact sits in one spot. Databases and Professor Rao appear once, in course. All three anomalies vanish. Add a course with no students. Drop an enrollment without losing the course. Change an instructor in a single cell. And crucially, nothing is lost. Join enrolled back to student, then to course, and you rebuild the original table exactly. No rows invented, none missing. That guarantee is a lossless decomposition, and it gets its own lesson next. So how far do we split? And by what rule? That's exactly what the normal forms answer. Each one is a named level of cleanliness, and each fixes one specific kind of bad dependency. First normal form is the ground floor. Every cell holds one atomic value. No lists hidden inside. Second normal form adds a rule. No non-key column may depend on only part of a composite key. Third normal form goes further. No non-key column may depend on another non-key column. And boys, chord is the strictest of the four. Every single determinant on the left of a dependency must be a superkey. They nest tightest inside loosest. Boys, chord implies third, implies second, implies first. Climb the ladder and redundancy keeps falling, at the cost of more tables and joins. And the whole language is prime versus non-prime, exactly the labels from finding candidate keys. Start at the bottom rung. First normal form asks one thing. Every cell holds a single atomic value. Here's a table that breaks it. Ravi's phone cell crams to numbers into one box. A little list smuggled inside a column. Why is that bad? You can't search, sort, or join on half a cell. The fix is to make every value atomic. Give each phone its own row. Now each cell is one clean value, and the table is in first normal form. From here on, we always assume one NF, and then ask how the columns depend on the keys. Now the heart of it, on one relation we'll carry through the next two levels. Enroll holds a student, a course, the grade, the student's advisor, and that advisor's department. The key is student and course. A grade needs both, but an advisor is fixed by the student alone, and a department by the advisor alone. Second normal form forbids a partial dependency, a non-key column that leans on only part of a composite key. The prime attributes are student and course. Grade, advisor, and department are non-key. And look, advisor depends on student, just half the key. Fix it by moving the offender out. Everything the student determines, advisor and department, splits into its own table, keyed by student. What genuinely needs both columns, the grade, stays behind with the full key. Verify it. In grades, the key is student and course, and grade needs both. No partial dependency. In student advisor, the key is a single column, student, so no proper part even exists. Both tables are now in second normal form. We're in second normal form, but not done. Zoom into student advisor, keyed by student. Student determines advisor, and advisor in turn determines the department. So the department reaches the key only by hopping through advisor, a non-key column pointing at another non-key column. That's a transitive dependency. And third, normal form forbids it. The formal test. For every dependency, X determines Y. Either X is a superkey or Y is prime. Here, advisor isn't a superkey and department is non-prime. Both escape hatches fail. Same medicine as before. Split off the transitive part. The advisor and their department become an advisor table, keyed by advisor. What's left links a student to just their advisor. Put it together, and enroll became three clean tables: grades, student to advisor, and advisor to department. Every non-key column now depends on the key, the whole key, and nothing but the key. Third, normal form achieved. One rung remains, and it's subtle. A table can sit comfortably in third normal form and still hide redundancy. Meet relation S, columns A, B, and C with two rules, A and B. Determine C, and C determines B. Find the keys. A and B closest to everything, so it's a candidate key. But so is A and C, since C gives B. Two candidate keys means A, B, and C are all prime. Nothing is non-prime. Is S in third normal form? Check C determines B. C isn't a superkey, but B is prime. So the prime escape clause saves it. S is genuinely in third normal form. Boys chord slams that escape clause shut. Its rule is flat. For every non-trivial dependency, the left side must be a superkey. No prime exception. Now C determines B has a left side. See, that isn't a superkey. So S fails boys. Chord. The very dependency third normal form waved through. Decompose on the offender. See, C and B become one table keyed by C, a pairs with C in the other. Both are now boys chord. But there's a genuine cost. The rule A and B determines C can no longer be checked on either table alone. Boys chord can lose dependency preservation, which is why third normal form is often where designers stop. Your turn. Relation R with columns A, B, C, D, and key A and B. Its dependencies. A and B determine D, and B determines C. Pause the video and decide which normal form the rule B determines C breaks. I'll wait. Here's the reasoning. The key is A and B, so A and B are prime, while C and D are non-prime. Now look at B determines C. B is only half the composite key, and C is non-prime, a non-key column leaning on part of the key. That's the exact signature of a partial dependency. So B determines C is a partial dependency, and it breaks second normal form. R is in first normal form but not second. If you spotted that, partial, not transitive, you've truly got it. Trap 1. Hunting for partial dependencies when the key is a single column. Partial dependency only exists against a composite key. So any relation whose keys are all single attributes is automatically in second normal form. Trap 2. Confusing partial with transitive. Partial is a non-key column on part of the key. Transitive is a non-key column determined through another non-key column. Two different faults at two different rungs. Trap 3. Assuming third normal form gives you boys, God for free. It doesn't. Third normal form forgives a non-superkey determinant when the right side is prime. Boys, God forgives nothing. Always check the determinant is a superkey. And trap 4. Judging a design from the data you happen to see. Normalization is decided by the functional dependencies and keys, never by whether a particular snapshot looks tidy. A lucky table can still be badly designed. Let's lock it in. Redundancy. The same fact stored many times breeds three anomalies: update, insertion, and deletion. The lower rungs: first, normal form demands atomic cells. Second, normal form kills partial dependencies, where a non-key column clings to part of a composite key. The higher rungs: third, normal form kills transitive dependencies, non-key through non-key. And boys, God insists every determinant is a superkey. No exceptions. And the payoff: decompose losslessly, using the dependencies rather than the data, until every fact lives in exactly one place. Do that, and the anomalies we started with simply cannot happen.